It's Metawatch Day at Games Workshop, but Games Workshop is still not showing off the win rates in a chart, because according to them, it's only a few weeks into having the Ork Codex and the Custodes Codex, so we don't get to see the official stats for the Golden Defenders of the Emperor. However, this means that at the rate codexes are released, it will always be a few weeks since the new codex had come out, so Games Workshop can use this excuse forever and never produce another one of these, which has awful stats, because they don't want you to see that. As you may know from your local games, the Orks are performing well. Bully Boys and Dreadmob are the most powerful in my view, but in the Metawatch, Games Workshop called out, yes, the Bully Boys, because they get 2 turns with the army special rule, 5+ invulnerable save and bonus attacks, but they also went with the Green Tide, because the meta at tournaments has been focusing a lot on vehicles. Vehicles do well in 10th edition, and we've seen a lot of Ironstorm Space Marine lists, Imperial Guard bringing super heavies, and many Leman Russes after the points drop. Hordes of battle line units upset the tournament scene because you brought las cannons, not chain cannons. Leman Russ Punishers didn't make it into lists because the Gatling cannon was not needed. The Green Tide means it is needed. This meta flip will likely become the meta in a few months as the Pariah Nexus mission deck gets used, which has a big focus on the battle line units. They score you more victory points. Victory points win you the game. I like the Green Tide rules, but as I only know one Ork player with 100 boys, and he hasn't played Green Tide yet because they won't all fit in his carry case, and he doesn't want to just pile them all on top of one another because of how many models break when you have 100 lads in a sack. So there is something, not a rule, that prevents their use. Hordes becoming mainstream is good for the game, as well as good for the meta. It's more fun than fighting against vehicles. If you are fighting against vehicles, it feels bad when you just score a couple of wounds, and for the profile and attacks the enemy can put out, there is no difference to the enemy army. A vehicle on 8 wounds and a vehicle on 12 wounds fights exactly the same. But mowing down dozens of Kroot, cultists, or Ork boys is fun. Even if you haven't got the bullets because there are more guardsmen charging over the top and screaming than you can kill in the remaining machine gun magazine, the battle ends in a defeat, but on a pile of the enemy dead, and that feels so good. So what will get a points increase in July? Ork boys. That way you can't take as many of them. Then knobs or mega knobs may get a points increase if they become the top performing detachment. However, while I'm sure the value markup on a tank gets good profits from Games Workshop, if they can sell hordes worth of models and the accompanying paint to apply to those models so that players reach the arbitrary threshold of 2,000 points, Games Workshop will ride that train as long as they can. Choo choo, all aboard the money train. The next balance patch will also have rules updates, including an AdMech rework. They may be so heavily reworked that there is a new codex released for them as a PDF. More likely is you'll get a list of 10 rules changes in a document that you have to print out and then apply almost like stickers to the different detachments and units of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Still nothing for Deathwatch. They didn't even get a mention. But the comment section of the last 2 Games Workshop 40k videos have players remind Games Workshop that the shield that slays will not be denied. Some of their units will leave the range. I've explained it in this video. But make sure that you are prepped for that, and that you have the frag cannons at the ready to deal with the coming Green Tide. My darlings and viewers, I'll see you tomorrow for another 40k video. Have a great day.